Episode 1. Canaan before the crossing. The promise spoken before the possession, and the faith that must carry it. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, today we step into the beginning of something ancient, and yet deeply personal. We are not just studying land. We are not just studying history. We are stepping into a promise that was spoken long before it was seen, declared long before it was possessed, established in heaven before it ever manifested on earth. And that promise is tied to a land known as Canaan. But to understand Canaan, we must first understand the man who received the promise. A man who did not start as a giant of faith. A man who did not begin as a patriarch of nations. A man who simply heard a voice and chose to follow. That man was Abraham. The call that changed everything. In Genesis 12, something remarkable happens. God speaks. No introduction, no explanation, no map, just a command. Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. Do you hear that? Not the land I have shown you, not the land you understand, but the land I will show you. This is the first test of the remnant. Will you move when God speaks, even when you cannot see? Abraham was not given details. He was given direction. And there is a difference. Details satisfy the mind. Direction requires faith. Promise before proof. God didn't just call Abraham. He made a covenant. I will make you into a great nation, and through you, all nations of the earth will be blessed. And then he ties that promise to land, to Canaan. But here is the mystery. Abraham walked the land, but never owned it. He built altars there. He pitched tents there. He buried loved ones there, but he never possessed it in fullness. Why? Because Canaan, at this stage, was not about ownership. It was about trust. God will often let you walk through a promise before you ever hold it. The life of a sojourner. Abraham lived as a stranger in the very land God promised him. Think about that. The land was his, by covenant, but not yet, by experience. He was living between two realities, what God said and what he could see. And that tension, that space, is where the remnant is formed, not in comfort, not in clarity, but in the in-between. Faith that carries generations. In Genesis 15, God does something even deeper. He makes a covenant not just with Abraham, but with his descendants. He tells him, "Your offspring will be strangers in a land not their own. They will be afflicted, but afterward, they will come out with great possessions." Do you see the scale of this? The promise of Canaan was not immediate. It was generational. Abraham would not see it fulfilled. Isaac would not see it fulfilled. Jacob would not see it fulfilled. But the promise remained. True promise is not always about your lifetime. It's about your legacy. Walking as an heir before arrival. Here is the heart of this message. Abraham walked through Canaan not as a visitor, but as an heir. Even when nothing around him reflected it. No throne, no borders, no army, just a word from God. And yet, that word was enough. He built altars in places he did not own. He worshipped in territory he had not yet received. Why? Because faith does not wait for possession to believe in promise. The remnant walks like it's already theirs, because God said it. The prophetic pattern, Canaan, is not just a land. It is a pattern, a blueprint, a prophetic mirror of how God works in the lives of his people. First, he speaks. Then, he tests. Then, he delays. Then, he fulfills. And in that process, he forms something inside of you. Because if God gave you the promise too quickly, you might possess it, but you would not be prepared to carry it. The remnant message. So what does this mean for us today? It means that many of you are standing in your own Canaan before possession. You've heard the promise. You've felt the call. But you're still waiting, still walking, still believing. And maybe, if you're honest, you're wondering, God, where is it? But hear this clearly. Just because you haven't possessed it yet, doesn't mean it isn't yours. Just because it hasn't manifested, doesn't mean it hasn't been established. God is not late. He is building something in you that matches what He has prepared for you. The final truth Canaan teaches us this: God speaks before He shows. God promises before He gives. God calls before He explains. And the remnant? The remnant responds, not with certainty, but with faith. Not with clarity, but with obedience. Not with proof, but with trust. Amen and amen.